Hi, I'm Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show. Also today in this segment, I'm at the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Denison Depot in Dennison, Texas. The Missouri, Kansas, Texas Denison Depot is located on 101 East Main Street in Dennison, Texas. The depot itself was built likely in 1914. It was used for passenger service on the Missouri-Kansas-Texas Railroad many years ago, and also the Missouri-Kansas-Texas Railroad, and also General Office Building of the Missouri-Kansas-Texas Railroad. The depot was the center of operations for the railroad until its merger with the Union Pacific Railroad on August 12, 1988. Also called Union Depot, it was the transportation center of the city and was used by other railroads. These included the Frisco, the Houston, and Texas Central, later to become part of the Southern Pacific Railroad. Located 1 block east of downtown Dennison off U.S. Business 69, the former site of the first and second Katy Depot is not far away. The second depot remained as storage after the current Missouri, Kansas, Texas depot opened in 1911 till it was demolished sometime after 1914. Every famous passenger train on the Missouri, Kansas, Texas used the depot, boarding passengers for travel from Dennison to many destinations throughout the Katy system. Although all passenger service ended on the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad in the mid-1960s, the depot remained the general offices for the railroad until the merger with the Union Pacific Railroad. The depot soon became an event center for events such as weddings, family reunions. Also, it even houses shops and stores, and also on the east side of the tracks, just on the far east side, you'll also see there's a train display. Also, mostly on the tracks, we see freight traffic traveling through the town, and the tracks are served by the Union Pacific Railroad, which the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad merged to in 1988. And it even serves the Dallas, Garland, and Northeastern Railroad as well. What you see right behind me is Missouri, Kansas, Texas 401B. Missouri, Kansas, Texas 401B was built by Electromotive Division in LaGrange, Illinois in 1947 and is the 4034th diesel locomotive built by that factory and is an F9AM type diesel locomotive. Originally, it was built as an F3A type diesel locomotive and originally numbered 203C, and it was built to haul passenger trains on the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad as well. In 1958, it was renumbered 66C. In 1974, it was wrecked in Caney, Oklahoma. Then, in 1975, it was rebuilt as a 2,000 horsepower B unit and renumbered 399B in Parsons, Kansas. Then later on, it was renumbered 401B. Then it was retired in 1988 and was then put on display adjacent to the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Denison Depot in Dennison, Texas, where it is seen on display today. Also, it is the last remaining streamline unit from the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad and is seen here on display in this spot where it is seen today. What you see right behind me is Missouri, Kansas, Texas 1021. Missouri, Kansas, Texas 1021 was built by the International Car Company in Kenton, Ohio in 1949 and is a steel cupola caboose. This caboose originally had a standard cupola, and this is its original number. Then in 1981, it was sent to the Dennison, Texas car shops where it was completely rebuilt and the wide vision cupola added and was renumbered 24. Also, this caboose was used on freight trains many years ago on the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad as the train crew's office and is one of the several cabooses used on the railroad that were built. Then in 1990, it was retired and then it was put on display adjacent to the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Denison Depot in Dennison, Texas, where it is today. But however, when it was being restored, it was incorrectly numbered 1024. Also, it was sandblasted in 2017 to be repainted and given its correct number, which is 1021. Today, it is seen here on display where it is preserved today.
What you see right behind me is Missouri, Kansas, Texas 141.
Missouri, Kansas, Texas 141 was built by the International Car Company in Kenton, Ohio in 1973 and is an all-steel cupola caboose. This caboose was used on the back of freight trains as the train crew's office many years ago. Then in 1989, the car was retired and then it was put on display adjacent to the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Denison Depot in Dennison, Texas, where it is seen on display today. What you see right behind me is Missouri Pacific 13731. Missouri Pacific 13731 was built by the Missouri Pacific Railroad shops in DeSoto, Missouri in 1977 and is a transfer caboose and is a Class CA33 caboose. This car was once used for maintenance of way use on the Missouri Pacific Railroad and Union Pacific Railroad many years ago when in service on the railroad. Then later, this caboose was retired and then it was put on display adjacent to the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Denison Depot in Dennison, Texas, where it is seen on display today.
What you see right behind me is American Car and Foundry 488.
American Car and Foundry 488 was built by American Car and Foundry in St. Charles, Missouri, somewhere in the 1900s and is a tanker car. This car was used for many years and used on freight trains hauling some different kinds of liquids it may have hauled many years ago as well. It was even used on mixed freight trains years ago, or may have been used on a line of tankers just like it. Then later on, it was retired and was then put on display at the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Denison Depot in Dennison, Texas, where it is seen on display today.
What you see right behind me is Missouri, Kansas, Texas 753.
Missouri, Kansas, Texas 753 was built somewhere in the 1900s and is a gondola car. This car was used for the railroad for many years, and also it hauled cargo like gravel, coal, or scrap metal, or whatever load it may have carried in the past. It was even used on mixed freight trains years ago, or may have been used on a line of gondola cars just like it. Then later on, it was retired and was then put on display adjacent adjacent to the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Denison Depot in Dennison, Texas, where it is seen on display today.
What you see right behind me is Missouri, Kansas, Texas 116066.
Missouri, Kansas, Texas 116066 was built somewhere in the 1900s and is a tanker car. This tanker car was used on the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad for many years and was used on freight trains, and also it hauled many different types of liquids it may have hauled many years ago. It was even used on mixed freight trains years ago, or may have been used on a line of tankers just like it. Then later on it was retired and was then put on display adjacent to the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Denison Depot in Dennison, Texas, where it is seen on display today.
You can see right here is a flatbed that's on this section of rails behind this train that's parked right here adjacent to the historic Katy Depot. And it's been here, I think, as long as this train set has. And it was used for track maintenance years ago, but now here it is today. And I would have to say this car once saw maintenance service on the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad, if that's correct. Well, I hope you all enjoyed learning about trains with me today in Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show. Also, I hope to see you all again in the next segment. And if you didn't subscribe to the channel yet, my channel, of course, the subscribe button is just down below next to the profile pic. And also, be sure to subscribe. It's free. Once it's free, it's always free to do so. Also, if you didn't give my Facebook page a like yet, here's where you can find it. And if you didn't follow the Instagram page yet, here's where you can find it. And that's where you'll want to go to follow and like. And be sure to get your merch at teesprings.com. I'll have the link down below in the description box, along with Facebook and Instagram links. And remember to subscribe to the Train Guy. So this is Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show, signing out until next time. All aboard!